I want to talk about, I've been sharing some client stories this week on my emails. I've got one to follow on Friday. The reason why I want to talk about this a bit more is because people don't actually realise the work that we do inside Empower and how in depth it actually is. Because if you've been following me for a while, you know that mindset coaching is the biggest part of our coaching. But it's not what you maybe think it is. I actually had someone that's now been with me for over a month who was very skeptical about the mindset side. She's like, don't think it's for me. I'll tell you now that she's having massive breakthroughs doing this work. However, I think, or I believe people get wrapped in a headset like, oh, mindset, that's just like thinking positively, doing a bit of journaling and, and then that'll be okay. But actually, it's not. It's a lot more in depth than that. So why I concentrate on this is because really, you know what you should be doing. You know, exercise. How to eat well, but something doesn't click. You still feel uncomfortable in your body. You still feel guilt every time you go out for a meal or have a, ice cream out with your friends or your family. And that's the problem. That's what we don't want to be doing. I mean, your health should just be something you do. It should be part of your life. And this is where the mindset coaching really comes in. So we break those cycles. We stop that all or nothing approach, that perfectionism, that thinking, oh, well, I haven't done it perfect, so I'm just going to give up. Life isn't perfect. It's about how you build resilience and know how to react to certain situations. Mindset coaching isn't all affirmations and, positive thinking, because that has a downside as well. Toxic positivity. No, not a place here. We need to feel the feels. We need to know how to respond to emotions and how to feel them and not push them away as well. Because when we do, that's when other areas can, or it comes out in other ways, if that makes sense. So emotional eating, stress eating, comfort eating. That's where we really need to understand exactly what's going on. But that's why we get into the deep depths of it, get to the root issues. And you've probably seen that if you haven't already, I would 100% go and suggest that you go onto my Instagram page and go and look at those client struggles and the client stories, because that shows you exactly the stuff that comes up on a day-to-day basis and how we work through it. Because we like to get to the core reasons why. And not just the couple that I've brought out this week to talk to you about this. This is constant. This is constantly working very closely with our clients on a one-to-one basis to get to those issues that have been holding you back. But the truth is, if you are someone that's struggled with food, struggled with body image, going to another program that's just going to give you a diet plan to follow and an exercise plan to follow is not going to help you get out of this mindset that's been holding you back. What I'm talking about is learning how to process emotions, learning the trigger points that maybe set off certain behaviours that don't align with your goals, being able to create flexibility into your life, because otherwise, do you really seriously think that you can just never go out for a meal, never go to an event, never go on holiday? We don't want this kind of restriction. It needs to fit into your lifestyle. That's what this is about. So we need to get rid of that all or nothing approach, and we need to get rid of that perfectionism. So learning the tools how to do that. But it's also about learning how to rest and recover, not burn out, setting boundaries if you're someone that's working too much or always on the go, people pleasing, so you're never taking some time and space for yourself. Setting boundaries is another thing that you really have to look at, and how to approach that in a way that's going to help build your confidence up. And believe me, it really does. What else? There's so much stuff with the mindset. It's not all just journaling and affirmations, and I think that's what a lot of people think it is. This is really where we get into the depths of it. We're going to get to the root issues, and that's why we're going to break those cycles. So don't fall in for another approach or going in for another program that's just the same thing that you've already done a million times. Maybe it's time for a different approach.